Oh, I'm about to be very unpopular. But like, what the fuck else is new in my life? I can tell you right now, Longlegs is the personification of edging, but without the really good yawn. And yes, personification is the wrong word here, but I am at a loss for whatever the fuck else word it's supposed to be. What I will say is the suspense for this movie is powerful. It literally felt like something was sitting on my chest the entire film. Welcome back, and thank you once again for trusting me with your full spoiler movie reviews. That thing I do where I see movies early and then I tell you all about them. As always, I am unpaid and unsponsored. And spoilers, 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 all of the spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, go ahead and scroll. I won't be offended. Spoilers, spoilers. Okay, here we go. Tonight I saw Longlegs after much waiting. A lot of fucking waiting. And anxiety so high, I had to gather all my neighbors to go see it with me. Which everybody had a great time, but I'm kind of wondering if they're thinking, what the hell did that bitch drag me to? Anyway, so what is Longlegs finally about? The thing being is, I will give you the storyline. I can give you the storyline, but this movie is so much more than just the story. The visuals and the audio are super duper important. So before I even tell you, I'm telling you, you'll probably want to see it in theaters. You're not going to get that same feeling. This is definitely a theater experience kind of movie, okay? Nicolas Cage is a Satanist, but not like the anti-theist Satanist we have. This is like the legitimately worships the devil. Well, he builds dolls and puts a little bit of Satan inside of them and then gives them to children with birthdays on the 14th. And the doll makes the husband of the house kill their families and then themselves. And it's been happening for like 20 years or so. And he leaves like these cryptic ass Zodiac messages and signs them Longlegs. And a female FBI agent goes looking for him. Now, the interesting fact about this FBI agent is she blatantly expresses something along the lines of the autism spectrum. I don't know if it's still a diagnosis, but I would say probably Asperger's. If you've ever seen The Good Doctor, she is like right there with The Good Doctor, which you almost never see in movies in general, much less in women. And even women out in reality rarely get their diagnosis. So it's very interesting to have in a film. But come to find out, she was targeted by him like 20-something years ago. Something about her soul going to Satan, but her mom stops him and offers to help him in exchange for the female FBI agent to keep her soul. So the mom's been the accomplice the whole time and has been dressing up as a nun and going to these people's houses to put these Satan dolls in their homes. And he lives downstairs in their basement. And that's it. That's pretty much the whole story. Now, did I like it? This is where everybody's gonna hate me. I love almost everything about this except the whole Satan religion portion of it. And that's not to say I don't love religious films. If you followed me, you know for a fact I fucking love religious horror. Love it, love it. But it doesn't fit here. You want to make it a cult doing all of this? Cool. You could have had the kids doing this, like maybe he was speaking through the dolls on a little radio, telling them to do it. I would have even accepted that. Or my favorite idea was that there was like some sort of boys cult going on and it was all the husbands like worshiping Satan and conspiring together. I could have accepted that too. But planting these little balls full of Satan inside these dolls that make you want to kill your family, to me doesn't make sense. It's too much. It's too much for me to grasp. And that probably makes me a bad horror fan. But if you're gonna call it a modern Silence of the Lambs, I want a realistic ending. Not to say that that can't happen, but on the lines of things that could happen, that one's kind of like further down the line, you know what I mean? Want to cover all my bases there. And that's why I say it's edging. You have the setup for a really cool ass storyline for it to just end with that. With a doll full of Satan. What do I do with this? What happens when all the dolls are destroyed? Does Satan come back? How does he know these little girls? I don't know. Now let's move on to the things I'm so freaking excited about in this movie, and that is the visuals. The camera work, the shots, Nicolas Cage's makeup. Okay, so you know that thing, that preview where they're talking about they strapped a heart monitor onto the main girl and her heartbeat went up to 177 beats per minute when she saw Nicolas Cage in makeup for the first time? I full as fuck believe it, okay? I saw him and honest to God, I wanted to throw up. He scared the shit out of me. While we're on that subject, go ahead and feel free to tag the Oscars, the Golden Globes, SAG Awards, whoever we need to talk about, because this man gets his fucking award for this movie. If Anne Hathaway can have an award for a 7-minute performance in Les Mis, Nicolas Cage deserves his award for this. Y'all know how everybody was so excited over Ethan Hawke's best performance of his lifetime for The Black Phone, even though he wore a mask and took a nap in a chair for most of the movie? Yeah. Because he's scary. He is legitimately 100% scary. He knocked it out of the park. So yes, I am advocating for him to be nominated. Even if he doesn't win, nomination. As for the rest of the camera effects, fucking brilliant. There are just these long, lingering shots of lots more background than you need, but it works because you've got like open doorways behind them, and you're expecting it the whole time that something's going to end up there, and it doesn't. It's like The Strangers, but the stranger actually never shows up. And then with the sound, I'm super grateful for the way they did it. There are a couple of things that do get very loud, but it's not like the Conjuring universe or Insidious, where they feel the need to put these loud ass sounds every 30 seconds. They play around with some old school sounds doing it, kind of building it up, that deep sound and a couple of sharp ones, which sounds like a really stupid thing to be excited about as a horror fan, because like being uncomfortable in sound is part of it, but there's just points where it gets so loud that I can't focus anymore. So the fact they didn't do that throughout the entire fucking movie was nice. So overall, I can appreciate it for what it is, but the story leaves me wanting, and I'm not horribly impressed as to where it went as opposed to where it could have gone. Does that make sense? I'm actually kind of disappointed in that. I think I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 out of 10, because the storyline is really what's important, and I can forgive a lot if you give me a coherent ending, but it didn't. So yeah, like a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, bye. She's got legs, she knows how to use them.